All right, Shalom. We the brothers from
Yes,
GLS
shalom.
coming at you with another quick lesson. As always, we start off by giving the infinite honor, infinite praises to Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh, Shem,
Shalom,
Kasadah.
Shalom.
Once again, double honor to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations out there to the hopeful elect. All right, we entitled this lesson, if you love your family, do the work. All right, and I'm referencing this because you have guys that come on the comment board asking these questions, or you might have a new brother who freshly out of the world. And I understand the first thing you do, you ask about your immediate family or your family, your moms, your pops, and those, so on and so forth. All right, but and one thing you have to focus on, freshly waking up out of truth is at this point you have to be in the point of being selfish. All right, meaning you have to worry about yourself. Meaning you have to get this word first. All right, your whole house, the Lord will get in order based on how you start off and treat this word, man. All right, it's on you. All right, it's important for you to get this word, for you to establish the relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai, and everything else will follow suit. All right, but you want to say something too before we start?
Nah, you got it. We could dive into the
Yeah,
lesson.
one of the things I like to do, like I like to start off with certain examples. All right, and one of the examples is in Genesis 6 and 5, and read down to 8.
Fine. This Genesis 6, chapter 6, verse 5. Now with power, Yahweh saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man from whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and a creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Right, and from Noah and Noah's seed, all right, they were saved, man. All right, and I'm gonna say this too. It was really through Noah's obedience. All right, it's how he saved his family by faith, man. All right, and that has to be a example trickle down to us, man. We know in order for you, and brothers have their families, they love their families, their kids, their children, moms and them. Like I said, but it's ultimately up to the Most High. But it has to start with you. You the head of your household, so everything, all right, entails around you. You the one that was, all right, blessed with the word, blessed with the gift of the Most High, giving you the ears to hear His word and see it. All right, and then what you do from there, you do the work. All right, week in, week out, you striving for, all right, to do the work of the Most High, right, in hopes of delivering your family, man. Jake may be a fresh guy at the world. He might got a newborn. This word is intriguing to him. It's new to his ears. And he also sees the things that's happening in the world, and that's a ultimately that's a good question to ask. But this is how you save your house, man. All right, by doing the work, by striving, to appease, to please the Most High, man. You know, and that's what Noah did. Noah, like I said, through his obedience, that's how he saved his house by faith, man. All right, he just did ultimately what the Most High told him to do, and he was saved, man. Him and the other souls, the 8 other souls, man. All right,
Yep, it said that in verse 9. I gotta read 9.
go ahead.
It says, now these are the generations of Noah, and this explains what kind of man Noah was. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with the Most High. Woo.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And like I said, these are our foreparents, all right, and they were set forth as an example for us on how to walk and strive in His word, man, in His ministry, all right. And we have to do the same. See something real fast? Okay. I was checking the speaker.
I got it. Yeah, I checked it. We good.
Yeah. Let me see something. You can get Acts 16 and 31.
Okay. It's Acts 16 and 31. It says,
Because because I'm gonna say this going off Noah, your faith and your diligence to Yahweh Shem Shai ultimately can influence your house, man. All right. But you have to do the work though, man. It's not for your woman, it's not for your daughter, it's not for your son to necessarily do the work, but he can over time. He can believe over time, but then that starts through you. All right. Because like I said, a lot of times your family is not going, especially your woman and your children, depending on the age, they're not going to be for just word because it's a abrupt change. You're changing the way you're stripping away that the old you're changing your dietary laws. All right, daddy, we not eating pork. Daddy, we not eating shrimp. Daddy, we not like what's going on, man? Something wrong with him, You're not doing the things you used to do, so that's a shock to them. All right, but do over time, do your walk and you stand balanced and standing straight on the word, it changes them to the hey. Sometimes they just start following suit. You didn't ask them, you're not teaching them. They just start following suit, man. In most cases, some of them buck up. I didn't see through this word, man. Brothers lose their family, man. And they're still here. Go ahead, Doc.
This Acts 16 and verse 31. It says, and they said, believe on Yahweh. Well, believe on the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and thou shalt be saved, and thy house. And want me to keep going?
Yeah, it says believe on the Lord, and what happened?
It says, and they said, this was to when Paul seen was in jail. The jailer converted. It says, and they said, believe on the Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and thou shalt be saved, and thy house.
Right. And I brought this out to ultimately, as a reference, this shows, man. I'm gonna say this too. This doesn't mean an automatic salvation for your house, all right. But by your faith, it opens the doors and set them in the direction, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Just because ultimately, man, they are gonna be brothers, family be saved, man, in the end times, all right. Brothers' children, brothers' women, brothers' mothers, all right, so on and so forth. Even that one aunt, she don't necessarily know what you do, but she respects it. All right, she actually she respects you. She respects what you do, and they don't get in the way. You ask them for something, you might ask her, hey, hey, I ain't see you. You make a garment, she make the garments. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, ultimately, what shapes that and what shapes that and puts that in order, man. Put those things in order. It's just you doing the work. You studying. You coming out consistent. You doing the work week in and week out. And like I said, everything else will fall in line. You can't worry about everybody else right now, man. All right. You have to get this word for yourself. You have to, all right, live this word yourself. Your family can't do it for you, man. All right. But if you want to save them, you would do this. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, Con. Like you mentioned, just to put the emphasis on the man, even the man himself can't choose himself. So you don't have the luxury of being able to choose who the Lord save or not. It's already in the Lord's will. So all we're doing is just stepping up to the plate of what's required of us as men. All right. This is Proverbs 8 and 4. It says, unto you, O men, I call. And my voice is to the sons of man. You got it.
We call men. All right. Yeah. Because we know, even back then and even up to these very times, the block and the highways and byways is not for women. They're not for our young sons and daughters, man. All right, because it's dangerous. It really, you can lose your life out there, right? You can get in a scuffle, you can go to jail. So this is the Lord called men, all right, to stand, all right, 10 toes down on these blocks to do his work. All right. The woman stays at home and she deals with the house, man. All right. There's a set order to this too. All right. The men do the work and the women stay at home. The women and children stay at home. Now, if you have a son that's of age, and he understands, he knows how to differentiate the word from dealing with school, whether it's middle school or high school, elementary. If you don't get in trouble, by saying things that he or us say, hey, you deal with him, man. All right. But in the whole thing too, man, you just you don't. Hey, man, the apostle's been said it before, man. You shouldn't even be really just dealing with your woman like that, man. Trying to teach her, man. I mean, which these women gonna hear? They're gonna hear you talk and say things and things like that. And hey, the Lord, it's true. The Lord, they'll get in line, man. But I ain't trying to sit here and bop them across the head and make them get it. All right. You got to focus on you. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, if you serious and sincere, then the Lord will put the spirit on your family to come under that rod of hearing you and respecting you diligently in your work as you walk. All right, because you can't force. Come on, you got it.
No, I'm saying get that what Cornelius and get that proverb. That goes with what you're saying. That Proverbs 20.
Hey, you can't force anything, any nature on something that somebody don't have the same belief or their spirit is not aligned with you. Whether that be your woman, that could be your children, that can be a friend, a neighbor, anybody. All right, but the point, like the elder said, if this is for you, then you got to find that power through the spirit to be able to walk and trust and faith, all right, to align you with the Lord. Say, if I do the work, he'll take care of my family. So it's on you to do it, man. All right, you want me to get the Acts 16?
Yeah, because you might have that favorite cousin or that favorite, person in your family or friend. They're not aligned with this, but they respect you. You just gotta, you gotta deal with how it is. I mean, they got friends of the prophets, man. The Lord might have mercy on, man. You just gotta do the work, man, and don't think about all that. All right, everything else will align itself up in due time. That's why I say, when you be young in this truth, you have a real strong spirit to where you might go hard at them on his word or bringing up Bible topics, and in your mind you can't really cast him off, because just because today he don't get it don't mean a month from now or sometime down the line your friend or your cousin or whoever it may be don't get it, But you gotta, like I said, you gotta let the chips fall where they may. Go ahead,
Con, this the Acts 11 and 14. It says, who shall tell the words whereby should I start it? I shall start it up. Yeah, I'll start at 12. It says, and the spirit bade me to go with them, nothing doubting. All right. And this the account with Peter, all right, coming into Cornelius. It says, I'm on Acts 11 and 12. I'm gonna go to 14. This is the point. There's actually that Proverbs.
Yeah, Peter just recapping what happened with Cornelius right here. All right. Go ahead.
It says, and the spirit bade me to go with them, nothing doubting. This was like the brother just said. Moreover, these 6 brethren accompanied me, and we entered into the man's house. And he shewed us how he had seen an angel in his house, all right, which stood and said unto him, send men to Joppa and call for Simon, whose surname is Peter. So he's talking about what Cornelius witnessed, all right, when the Lord, sent the angel through to do his part of the business. It says, who shall tell thee words whereby thou and all thy house shall be saved.
Right. Yeah, because when you recap and go back to Acts, the second chapter, it tells you that Cornelius basically, well, let me start at once. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared the Most High with all his house. So not only was Cornelius, all right, feared the Most High, him and his household feared him too. All right, but it started with Cornelius, man. Cornelius being the head of his house. He sets the tone of everything else that goes on along in the family, man. All right, it says which gave much alms to the people and prayed to the Most High always, man.
Yep.
Right. And you precept that with that precept that
27. I got it. Yep. This Proverbs 20 and 7. It says the just man and devout and that just, they go one and one. All right, that Cornelius was walking in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. Woo!
Yeah, man. Read that again, brother.
Yes, indeed. It says the just man walking in his integrity. Didn't it say that Noah walked with the Lord?
Yep.
And that Noah was a just man? But it said he walked with the Lord. All right. What is the walking with the Lord? That's doing the work of the Lord, the bitten of the Lord, man. Hey, if I can add, Laquan, if you ain't had nothing, Abraham, he told Abraham, get thee from your family. He had told him, leave his family. All right, to have to serve him. I'll get that, but he had called Abraham to separate himself from his family because Abraham's father was serving idols, man. And he couldn't, the Lord ain't have Abraham deal with that. Okay, I'll get that. I think it was Tahor. I mean, what his name was? I forget his name, so like it. Abraham's father. I'll get that though. Okay, it says the just man walking in his integrity. Abraham left on a fate. It was a fate journey because he didn't know where that would take him. But the Lord said, get thee up from your family, man. His children are blessed after him, and Isaac was blessed after Abraham. You got it, bro.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say this, with this particular verse, man, your conduct matters, man. All right, your works, the way you go about doing this work diligently matters. All right, it shapes what your family sees, man, and often it is what they become. Right. All right. So if you want them to get this word, you just got to go do the work, man. Everything else will fall in place, And sometimes some of them don't get it, man. Sometimes some of them, you might have a son. All right, at the age of such and such, he may take heed to the word, and he want to start doing the work too. Hey, that's a blessing, man. Praise the Most High. But you might have another son that don't want to do it, man. All right, it just ain't fun. All right, but hey, you shape your household, man. All right, it starts, like I said, you shape the what's the word I wanted to say? You basically, huh?
No, I was going. You got it.
Yeah, you shape everything that goes on at your house, man, because you're the head. It starts with you. All right. So if you do the work half-ass, your family ain't gonna they're not gonna take you serious, man. All right. You might come to camp today, you may be gone for months and you're back with it. People see all that, man. Everybody sees that. All right. The people around you are watching you, man, especially when you start changing up on them, for coming into the truth, people see that. And if you stand on 10 toes, you're serious about this, they see that too. Hey, I don't know what he's doing, but whatever it is, he's serious about it, man. And I didn't heard people tell brothers that, man. Your boy said that on the block. The Jamaican man, the light-skinned Jamaican man at the table.
Sandals out. His feet always be out. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be beefing with y'all, but hey, man, I will say y'all diligent, man. Y'all serious about this, man. You had something?
Yeah, can you grab 1 Timothy 4:16 to back up with everything you've been saying about, if you be diligent in your walk and you actually, do this work, then your family will latch on, man. Because the landscape around you gonna be about what you about, And if your heart is set on something, all right, that's what it's gonna be. Right here it says this Joshua 24:15. I'm gonna start at 14. It says, now therefore fear Yahweh and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your father served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye Yahweh. And if it seem evil to you to serve Yahweh, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your father served that were on the other side of the floods, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But this the point. But as for me and my house, we will serve you, the Lord, man. All right, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He said, as for me and my house. So he's setting the man has been the man of the house when things was in order during the time of Joshua. If Joshua was a God-fearing man, then the house had to come under his rule, man. Is not the man the head of the house? He's the head of the woman who's over the kids. All right, so He said, look, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And what constitutes serving the Lord? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and the words that we hear, exercising them, which the elder got. You got it, bro.
Yeah, this First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16. It says, take heed unto yourself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this, all right, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. Yeah, that's on time.
Yes, brother. So if you would do the work, then because they got the point, I got a family, I got a big family, brother. Know that children, sons. You know, I got a son, a son that's in the truth. I got daughters. All right, and I understand the landscape. If you, like you say, if you love something, okay, then you will put your life on the line for the truth. All right, which that's the only thing that's able to save them, because we understand the only man that can save is Yahweh in the scriptures. What we read, he say he the only one saved, he make alive, he kill, and it's only him. So if he the only gateway to my family being saved, then I need to do what I need to do to at least get them a shot, man. But I can't worry about that, because if I'm not saved, there's no way to save them, man, because I was called, you know?
Yeah, man.
So in doing so, when I heard the word, I walked in it, all right, and exercised it thereby, just like brothers supposed to do and continue doing. Out of one right that we continue. And guess what? Your family will pick up on your ways. When I met my woman, we wasn't keeping the law. All right, then the law picked up, the dietary law. You know, things came along. So I'm just explaining. All right, once you get this word, then if someone with you, they'll follow, man. All right, they'll follow it. And if they follow it, your children will be blessed after you, man. I got the Ciroc 30 for you too, brother.
Yeah, and they love you. They adapt to your lifestyle, man.
Yes,
right?
bro. Yes.
But you learn the business of this, keeping the business, meaning it's true, and you keep the business of at home. All right, and everything else follow suit around that, man. Look, I forgot this other one real fast.
I got this that Ciroc 30. Because we just going to the whole metric, all right, of you know, because that be concerning. You like, well, I'm doing the work, and man, you like, the law gonna kill my family. You know, well, my woman don't know the truth, my children don't know the truth, but you do. All right, and it didn't mention any of the names in the household of Cornelius either. All right, he just told him and his house, man. He didn't mention no names, huh? So Cornelius had a servant, you know. Well, he had he was rich, he was well to do. So he, it didn't mention names. That's the key point about that. It just mentioned that the Lord gonna save him in his house, man. Which is important.
I was gonna put that Proverbs 27 and 23 to what you just said, but I don't, hold on real fast. Let me find this other one. This other one real fast.
Yeah, it's our job to get this word and to teach it, walk in it, exercise thereby. All right, and those who gonna cleave to it gonna cleave to it. Because remember, these secrets of old, it always, if the Lord intend to save your house gonna be saved, brother. If it's not, it's not. And you gotta learn to be obedient, and just pray and then leave it alone, man. And let everything take its course, because you can't pray and worry. It's either you're gonna do the work and then worry about your people, your children getting saved, or your family, your woman, whoever it may be. You gotta just do the work and have faith. You got it.
Hey, this one came into mind for you right here. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. It says, "Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all." All right. And that's what we've done, man. Straightway follow after the Lord, forsaking all the things and the ambitions of what we wanted to be in this world, in this life, to follow after the Lord, man. It says, "For we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have thereof?" All right.
Yeah.
And Yahweh shall say unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, man. That's what we're gonna get.
We're gonna get.
Oh, I got a little more. It says, "In every one that forsaketh houses."
Yes.
All right, that's a part of this too. All right, our brethren, our sisters, our fathers, our mothers, our wife, our children, our lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall
Yeah.
inherit everlasting life. All right, it says, "But many there are many, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first." Man. All right.
Yeah.
The scripture
I'm
tell
gonna
you,
get that.
the scripture tell you you gotta what it is, you gotta hate your family, man. Which the word hate right there doesn't mean actually hate them. The word right there means to love less. You have to put the Lord first and your family second, man. All right, that's a cold pill. That's a hard cold pill to swallow, but hey, it is what it is. All right. For those out there that hopes in time you understand that, but hey, that's a cold pill to swallow, man. All right, you a hard pill to swallow. You gotta put certain things on the back burner sometimes for the truth, man. That doesn't mean you don't love your family, but this is what comes first. This is what it's about. All right. No breaks, no taking time off, man. All right. If you love your family, this is what you would do. You would do the work. All right. Because if you've been tuning in, all right, you ain't been on a rock, you can see what's coming down the pipe. We've been saying what's going to happen here in America, what's going to happen to the economy. All right, what's going to happen on the streets of America, man. All right. We also see the draft. We see World War III coming in. All right. We also see the chip is here, man. So if you want to get them out of imminent danger like that, this is what you'll do the work, man. All right. You want to be somewhere at home, cooped up in the house, just watching videos every weekend. You will want to put boots on the ground and be with the men in the Lord in hopes to saving your family, man. This not a part-time job, man. This is not a thing where I might come out a week or 2, 3 weeks, and then I'm MIA. Then I come out again. No, this is a consistent thing, week in and week out. Whatever show they want to do, we do that another day. Before the day of the Lord, well,
Yeah.
Saturday come, it hit 12 o'clock. My mind on coming to the block. Everything else doesn't matter, man.
Yes.
You wake up on a Saturday, your mind on going out there on the highways, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I got this.
This is an account with Job in Job 42 when the Lord had blessed and restored all Job's fortune because he did the work for the Lord. All right. He didn't allow the woman had told him to forget God and die. All right. When he was going through his ups and downs, and even his friends, had a friend, when you read through Job, his friends was like misjudging him, and not using wisdom or right, so even at the end, the Lord restored everything. And part of the restoration of Job goes here. It says God restores Job's fortunes, all right, because he followed the Lord. All right. He didn't forsake himself for the family and what they went through. All his kids was killed. All right. He continued to fight for the Lord in the truth and walk with the Lord, regardless of what he was experiencing. So this verse 10, 42 and 10. And Yahweh turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also, Yahweh gave Job twice as much as he had before. And it says, I'm going to jump to 12. So Yahweh blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. And the Lord killed all Job's children. All right. So Job was a believer. He killed the children that Job initially had just to give him more and see if he would fight through the fate and believe that the Lord can restore that, man. So if a man can give you the faith to show you can lose your kids and then the Lord will give you, bless you with a greater amount, and there's nothing better than that, man. It says, so the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. For he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels and 1,000 yoke of oxen and 1,000 she asses. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. All right. And it goes into the names of, of that, you know, and it was you know, and it just showed the inheritance that he got from being diligent in the Lord and following after the word of the Lord. You got it, bro.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah, man.
And he was an example. He was an example for his sons and his daughters to keep following faith and keep walking with the Lord no matter what. That's the rock 30 for you, brother. And 3, it says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he as though he were not dead, for he had left one behind that is like himself.
Yeah, left one behind like himself. You know, so your influence can guide and shape, all right, the direction and the choices that you know that your family make, man, of righteousness, man. All right. But you the staple of that. It all starts with you. Even when you're gone, Lord forbid, but if you have to go to the spirit world, they will keep and continue on.
Yep.
All right. The things that you set forth of following your how about you shot, man, they wouldn't leave off from that.
Yep.
Right. But like I said, that starts with you. Like you got to get your feet wet first in this truth, man. You can't just be starting off. Most guys start off, they already, they're just trying to teach everyone, they're trying to teach their woman. Like, man, just worry about you right now, man. Like I said earlier, just worry about you, get your feet wet, you get grounded over some time, and then like I said, everything else will fall in place. You might have, like I said, you might have a young child that asks you, a young son that asks you about the truth. That's your house, man. But you do how you want to do. But hey, it's a time and place for everything. The time right now is for you brothers who just hearing. It's time for you to worry about you and get yourself together with the Lord, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had one, but I just scratched it. I ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah. If I can add, that's part of forsaking. That's part of Peter saying, Lord, we are forsaking all. And forsaking you is that quality time with family. All right, the structure, just doing the things outside of the work, all right, that you love. Because hey, a man get with a woman, he love his woman, they become one, and you have children, you have a seed, all right. And obviously you won't pass this down, but you have to be an example, all right, because a great leader, the leader of the house or the head of the house, he knows, shows, and goes the way. The leader is an action. The leader position is an action position. It's about action, man. All right, because as you leading and moving, the next person behind you need to know what to do in case if you get removed out the picture, man. What is about you and the power that the Lord gave unto you, which is the scriptures, man. And if you ain't doing that, if you was the head of the house and if you not serving the Lord properly, when you pass and go away, Satan gonna come take the house, man.
Hey, why you there? Bullshitting.
Why you there?
Hey, your people gonna like, man, that nigga bullshitting, man. Oh, he just going through a phase right now. That's what they gonna say,
yes,
bro.
That's it.
He just going through a phase, girl. He just mad with the world and the white man right now. He going through a phase. He gonna be back around. Yeah, because they don't take you serious, man. They never known you to take nothing serious. All right. This is something that you have to plant yourself in, and you have to set yourself up. All right. For you have to set yourself up in a perfect position, man, to get this.
Yep.
And to be not only an example for your house, but examples for other younger brothers too. But this is a house too. All right. This is a house too that you're in, and you got other brothers watching you too, man. All right.
It says if you could get Proverbs 18:1. Good shot, brother. Because when you get wisdom, you're gonna have to separate yourself, man. When the Lord deal with you, the Lord kind of separates you from your family. It's many accounts in the scriptures that shows, all right, the Lord separate men, man. Give them, say not that I'm a child, or this, like, hey, let's get to it. So that in itself lets you know when the Lord deal with you, he call you. Like few men are called, many are called, but few are chosen. So if you of that remnant and you chosen and called to be a follower of the Mashiach Yahushua, all right, you're gonna have that's a great duty. Okay, that's a great duty. You got it?
What you say again?
Proverbs should be 18 and 1.
18 and 1.
Yeah.
It says though what is it? Though desire a man have
True desire.
A man have separated himself, seeking a intermingling
Intermeddle
with all wisdom.
Yup. So through desire, a man separated itself. So when you seeking and desiring the Lord, you're gonna have to separate yourself from the house, because the things in your house, all right, it'll keep you connected to it. You know, hey, the woman, hey, let's go out on a Saturday, let's do this, and it's gonna take your mind away from having to align with wisdom. And so fear, all right, those two women butt heads, okay, because they require time. Like the elder always say, time is the most important thing you have to give to the Lord. So you can't have the time of the duty in a house, and the Lord give you a balance, do benevolence and different things of that nature, time with your kids. But for the most part, you got to give the Lord all his required time, man. And the rest of your time, all right, you distribute that according to how you distribute it. But the Lord's time is the Lord's time, and that got to be set and established and fixed serving the Lord, man. You know, I got 2 more verses right here for you. Sirach 30 and 4.
Yes, Lord, like the rest of the Lord looking for his too, man. He's a jealous power. He wants his time too.
Yes.
You know, like I say, it's not like we sit somewhere in a damn cave and we just on some hard body shit all the time. No, man. We brothers love their families, brothers love their kids and everything too. But it's a separation of the two, you know.
Yep.
Go ahead, up.
Yeah, and wisdom gonna separate that. And y'all know what we do it for. We do it for the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So when you intermeddle with it, you gotta separate yourself. Wisdom gonna separate you. All right, because she have to deal with you. All right, just because the Lord called you, and you said he didn't call everybody. That's not nowhere like the Lord always dealt with particular men. So if you did get this truth and the Lord dealing with you with the secrets of him, then you should be elated, you know, to be able to, like, man, I gotta go get this. You gotta be selfishly selfish. All right. And how do you be selfishly selfish? Is tending to the Lord's work, all right, while also doing the best you can do. But at the end of the day, it's all about the Lord. I'll get Deuteronomy 29 and 29. I'm gonna finish this right here. It's Sirach 30 and 4. It says, though his father died, talking about if you teach your son and teach your house to walk in the ways of the Lord, but it's about the father, all right, who's doing the work of the Lord. Yet he as though he were not dead, for he had left one behind that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful, because your son will pick up the mantle and keep going. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. So that's one who's going to follow after you and do the works of the Lord. But that's if you do the work accordingly and be diligent in your work. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I got Deuteronomy 29:29. It says, the secret things belonging unto the Lord, our power, but those things which are revealed belonging unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law.
Right. So the house starts with the man. He's the head of the house. All right. The pedigree comes through the man. So the secret things which the Lord have revealed unto us, which are the men, you know, the prophets, okay, it belongs unto us and to our children, that we may do all the works of the law. But the man got to do the work. The children be beneficiaries of the man doing the work, because by default, he set the tone of the house, the dietary law. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. All right, so they by default do what thus says the Lord. Through you do. All right, so that's through you to them. And that's the only way the Lord will acknowledge it, is if you be sincere in the work you're doing, man. All right, I got one more if you ain't got no more.
And they, like I said, and if they're not striving to be after this, but they just happy, like your woman just happy to be with you. Hey, cool.
Let it be so.
Hey, let it be so, man. I'm not trying to make her get it either, man. All right. I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about me. All right. Everything else, and hey, it's still up to the Lord whether he gonna do his thing or not. With that, man. Hey, what the scripture say? You know what I'm about to say. The one where it said, don't worry about your stuff, man. All right.
Yep. We might have to get that because we is separating the house from the man, but the house still of the man working. You know. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, hey man.
You got something else?
No, that was probably it. I had scratched the other one. It had fell off topic, which is cool. I ain't tripping. If you got anything,
yeah, this is the last one.
Cool too.
Now I got this. The last one. This is First Maccabees 3 and 21. Well, I'm gonna start at 20. It says they come against us in much pride. It's talking about the wicked and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and children, and to spoil us. But we, Maccabees, we fight for our lives and for our laws, man. So if we be the men and the Lord gave you the sword to fight, or the sword of gold, we fight for our laws. But as we fight for the law to keep the law of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, we also fight for the lives of our household. Okay, right. But our household is not in the same war we in. Yes, they're Israelites. Yes, they're Israelites. Yes, they're family and their blood. They're of our seed. But the Lord will discontinue a man's seed if he disobey him. So we all about obedience, man, in our sacrifice, bro. All right, we gonna look. We gotta obey the Lord in order for him to structure our house, bro, and save our house. In order for him to even save anybody, it gotta be the man who he called to get it. All right, in order for him to consider the rest of the household. So it gives you something to think about. You got it.
Like you said, they're not under that rod or that cross like us, man.
Yep.
They don't. And like I said, they don't have to do what we do. All right, what we do, we on the strict commandments to go out and teach. All right, to wake up the elect, man. Hey, they don't have to do that. All right, cool. Hey, I'm just happy to, you should just be happy with the duties that you have, man. The Lord woke you up. The Lord gave you the truth. All right, all you need to do now is get it, man. Receive it. Build yourself up to where you're able to hold your own. You're able to teach. You're able to ultimately be a good example, man, for not only other brothers but your house too, man. In hopes of being saved, man, and keeping the faith. That's simple. That's simple right there, man.
I'll say this, even for the job for the woman, is to teach the house, right? And then it's to also what? Listen to the man. And then also say women get saved in childbearing. For and he said for her, like her doing the work, being called, that's why the Lord always reference men when he speak about, those who's being witnesses for him. All right, a testimony, man. All right, that's the objective of our testimony is to be the head of the household, but lead in righteousness, man. So hey, you women, listen to the men. That's your job to get saved, man. Through childbearing. Take care of the kids. Get a man as much peace as you could possibly give him in Babylon, and the Lord will have mercy on you. But acknowledge that your man served the Lord. If there's a spirit in you, then the Lord will put the spirit on you to be obedient and submissive. All right, to allow that man to do the work of the Lord, that he may save the house. But you got it, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, so with that, we're gonna end it right here. Hope that was edifying and to the point. As always, we'll give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Shem double honors again, to the elders apostles, and peace, blessings, and salutations out there to the elect and to the sincere. Shalom.
Shalom.